What's up, guys? This is Brett here from brettdev.com, coming at you once again from Thailand. And today I've got a bit of a different video for you guys. I'm going to be doing an interview with a guy named Vako. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, that's correct.
Vako. And Vako is the creator of a course called Easy Landing Page Design Without Coding. So the reason I brought Vako onto the channel and the reason we're doing this interview today is my freelancing course has just been completed, and there's a module inside of that freelancing course which discusses branding for freelancers and how to build websites and stuff like that. So in that course there is a section where I talk about landing page design, so I thought it'd make sense to bring Vako on for an interview. I recommend his course during my freelancing program, and he is the author of the course. So Vako, welcome.
Hi, Ran. Hi, guys.
Vako, do you want to just tell us a bit about yourself? Like I said, I took your course on Udemy, and it was really good. It's like 2 hours long, and it's all about how to design landing pages. So I don't know if you want to tell us about yourself, tell us about your background, how you come to create the course, and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I started. I'm coming from the same background, which is I'm a digital nomad, and it was a few years ago when I was completely sick of doing this long hours at work and working for somebody else. I think I was inspired by this book called 4 Hour Work Week, which was written by Tim Ferriss. And that's what got me inspired of finding my way to get into this freelancing and find them with how to give people value that they would pay me for it, instead of just me being inside the office and giving that sort of value to a company. And I know I was doing a lot of marketing and designing my own company. That's what I was doing. I was designing flyers, I was designing posters, I was doing landing pages, and I was doing this on and on and on for a few years in my own company. And that's where I decided that I'm going to make a course of it. And I made this landing page course and put everything I knew about landing pages, and I looked online and saw that there is not much good knowledge about making good landing pages in an easy way that can really convert. And I know that I've experimented with these landing pages so much. I was lucky. I was working for my own company, and I've spent a lot of money and thousands and thousands of dollars in basically educating myself how not to do things.
Right.
And yeah, when you have a good budget, you can experiment Google AdWords and all those things. And I took that knowledge, put it in the course, and students loved it. And yeah.
Okay. How many students do you have already signed up to it?
It's up to 2,000 right now, and I think every month it's quite a new course, and every month I get around extra 100.
Okay.
100 students a month, I think, would be the
How old
average.
is it? I think I signed up to it maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I saw you mention it in the Facebook group, the Udemy Facebook group.
It was last year, I believe, around this time, maybe August or July.
Okay. Cool, awesome. And yeah, so really the reason I wanted to bring you on is because, like I say, I've just completed this 4-week freelancing series for freelancers, and right early on in that course, in the 3rd module, I talk about building websites and kind of having a bit of a brand. And you don't necessarily have to have a website, but it does help a lot. And if you're going to build a website, it's important that the landing pages, that, for example, when you're doing outreach to clients and they don't know anything about you, and they click on your site, you want them to contact you, you want them to book a call. And in order to get them to do that, it's no good having your call scheduling link like buried at the bottom of your contact page. They need to have a site that's designed to convert, basically. So I was just wondering what your input would be and what advice you would have for somebody who is setting up a service-based business, so somebody who is a freelancer and somebody who's looking to build a landing page around that. Like, what would that look like from your point of view?
First, let's just give a bit of definition of what's the difference between a home page and a landing page. And I think because a lot of confusion comes from that.
Sure.
Why are we doing a landing page anyways?
Yeah.
And one thing for people to understand what is a landing page is that landing page is this page that has one single purpose.
Mm-hmm.
your website can have a lot of things going on there. It will have contact details. It will have links to your portfolios. It will have links to your different services. It will have Facebook's social networking, everything. So everything that happens with you, everything that you do, you kind of gather everything in one place, and you have it on the website. You have a blog there and some other content.
Yeah.
Now, a landing page you decided to build a landing page for one single purpose, to send it to one type of customer. Not even, let's say if you're going to send, let's say you want to do copywriting for companies, but you can have startup companies and you can have big corporations.
Yeah.
Design a landing page. You design 2 landing pages, one for startups, one big corporations. Why? Because they're different people. They resonate different. They will resonate to a different content.
Yeah.
So big corporations will want something absolutely different than a small startup that is bootstrapping and doesn't have enough money, and it's young guys trying to make some cool business out of a good idea.
Yeah.
And when you send something that fits both, then you get this landing page that actually doesn't convince either of them.
Yeah, it's very true, man. And I've even experienced it myself over the years. And it's right, like you say, it takes you years to learn the hard way. And I'm hoping that this interview will kind of, like, people will avoid those mistakes. But I've done it myself. We've done, like, for example, big outreach email blasts to like thousands of people that are hosting events and things like that, but not really optimized the site that they're coming back to. And then we just assume that because we know what we're talking about, that they'll know what we're talking about, and they just have no idea. And we really should have designed proper landing pages for them, so when they come, and we would have converted way more sales had we have done that. It's very true. You learn just through loads and loads of mistakes, right?
And another thing with the landing page is that your landing pages, usually you can create hundreds of them, and you can optimize and can change anything in them. You can A/B test with them. You can do with a website. It's a bit more complicated to do that all the time and then mess with it so much. With landing page, you have this freedom to change one word and then test it out. And I use this in my course. This is an example by Barack Obama and his campaign managers when they were doing campaigning. I think when he was running for the first time for the president in 2008, was it?
Okay. Yeah.
And Barack Obama was using landing pages.
Right.
And what they wanted to do is basically that he had his own website. People go on his website and see what they can do. And what they decided is that, okay, what we want to do, that's one of the things you always have to think, what's the purpose of your landing page? And you start from them. I want people to do what?
Like
you want them to
schedule a call or
schedule a call, a meeting. You want them to buy something right away. You want them to sign up for something. You have to decide, what does your landing page do? And if I had to decide, and somebody told me, okay, make a landing page, but only put one thing there, just one thing, nothing else, I would put a button.
Okay.
Because a button is what this page does. Yeah, it will always describe either buy this, subscribe here, do this or do that. It describes the action of the page.
Yeah.
So you always have to think about the button. What are you going to do with this landing page? And then you hone entire content to kind of lead to that one particular place.
Okay. You actually talk about this in your course, right? You talk about different types of text on the buttons and.
Yes, and I gave so about this Obama's example. They A/B tested, and as you can see, if you're in the United States and if you're running for president, you're gonna get hundreds and millions of visitors on your site. So every small little change will make a huge effect.
A lot of data to play with.
They experimented. They just took a few things. They experimented with a hero shot and the copy on the button, what it said. And he had like different hero shots. One of them was video, him talking. One of them he was video with his family. One of them he was giving a speech or patting somebody. I don't know. And one of them, and then different button copies that would say either learn more, subscribe here, yada yada yada. And they had this made like 20 different variations out of it.
Yep.
And the variation that won brought them about 3.5 million more subscribers.
Right.
Everything else, and that subscribers, because then people donate out of those subscribers and they send donate, and they calculated that extra 3.5 million subscribers gave them extra $60 million in donations.
Wow. Okay.
$60 million. So
Yeah.
as you can see, it's small impact, and it was just a what? They switched and they put a family photo, and it said "Learn more."
Yeah.
And that was the winner.
Yeah.
And they had, because all the marketing, they had guru marketing guys, all the designers, and what they picked, thinking that this would be the best, wasn't.
Right. Yeah.
In short, it came third place.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. It's I always say this to people. It doesn't matter what you think. What you think is totally irrelevant. Because you can measure the data. So you just, like you just said, all the designers, all the gurus thought a certain version would work, and it doesn't matter. It's the data will tell you what works and what doesn't. Yeah, that's another thing people are often wonder about, like what works better on a landing page. Like you just mentioned, they had like a hero shot, they had a video, and that's something that a lot of people do get confused about when they're building landing pages. Like what converts better? Should they use a video? Should they use an image? Or should they split test and do both? Because it's obviously a lot of work to go away and create a video just for a landing page for a specific audience. I mean, you should ideally do it, and that's what we ended up doing actually for these people we were doing outreach to. We created like custom videos for them. But I mean, is there any data to back that up to determine which is better, like either an image or a video or something like that?
It is, and if you take average landing pages and just take all the landing pages that were compared between photo and a video usually comes as the winner,
right?
Because I guess we can draw some conclusions out of it, which is it engages people more, especially if you're going to do a service business and it's the primary product is the person inside. So this can be dentists, this can be freelancers, 100%, of course.
Yeah.
And it can be anything which is a professional service that you're providing.
Mm-hmm.
You are the service. Like I'm a web designer and I build landing pages for my clients. And I was a few weeks ago, I was working on my website and I was redesigning it. And yes, I put the video on it. And it takes a lot of time to make videos, but you know that in the end, you will be better off. But but when I work with my clients, if they already have a good video, then I take it and 100% use it.
Right.
But if I have to tell them, go and make a video, I done it and I made a huge mistake out of it because they can't usually.
Yeah.
If you do it for them and if you help them and if you're going to somehow facilitate the production of the video, perfect. But if you're going to get somebody who's been, I don't know, let's say IT consultant for big corporations for decades, and now you want to have him act in the video, talk to the camera and film everything and edit everything, there's just so much skill that he's lacking. He's never done this.
Yeah.
Chances are video will come so bad that it will actually work on a negative.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So it actually decrease your subscriptions. It can actually work against. And a lot of times, just a simple thing, if you work with a client, I had this client, he was I had to get his, I wanted to put him on he was an accountant, and I wanted to put him on as a hero shot and put him on as a professional service, and I thought it would be a good idea, put him as a hero shot.
Yeah.
And I just asked him, can you send me a high quality photo, not taken by an iPhone, but something with a good lighting and somewhere where you're on the background that is plain, so I can then in the Photoshop cut it out.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, it just took so much time, and one after that, it started from bad and went to worse.
Right.
And every iteration just came worse, and I was like, I'll never ask my clients something custom, either a photo shoot or a video.
Yeah, I always think if you're gonna do photos, you have to get a professional photo shoot done. Have to.
That's the thing. If you're going to do a low quality, it will just work down and will have a negative effect. If you're working with a company that is able to hire a production team, 100%.
Yeah.
you don't need a production team. You just need a camera guy who has an experience with it. Yeah,
Right.
somebody who lighting and sound and everything. Even some people like us, just somebody who has already done it. Somebody like Brad or somebody like me. We went through this. It takes a lot of time to shoot a video.
Yeah.
You have to work with the software. This is gonna crash. That's gonna work. You're gonna see, oh, I was recording, but then there was some crackling sound on my microphone,
Yeah.
and light wasn't good, and shadow on my face, and all those things. Somebody has to have an experience with it.
Yeah.
And with what you're gonna do, the script that you're going to write, all those things, they need some experience. And if you will do it, try. Maybe you already have the. If you're a freelancer and if you're doing for your website, I would say try it. You don't need a huge equipment. I failed my Udemy course with iPhone 5. Not even 5S, just iPhone 5.
Yeah.
And Brett can say here that it's pretty well.
Yeah, the production is next level, man. That's the only reason I remembered you and reached out, you know, because I was like, that was that really good landing page course I saw, like, you know.
And lighting, I made them up. I just bought some lamps, put them things, and
Wow.
well, most of the things they have doggy bags around it, those iron things, so
Right.
we can direct the light. And
Okay.
everything I made at home, so it's possible. There's so much advice out there on YouTube or Udemy that you can make a really good video with low budget with on whatever camera you already have, and try it. If it's not good, you know, scratch it, put something else, put a photo of yourself, and take it with a good photographer.
Yeah.
Something like
So that's what you'd recommend. So somebody that's getting into freelancing, they're trying to set up their website for their freelancing business. Like I say, in my course, I say you don't actually necessarily need to have a website, but like you say, it goes a long, long way. If you're reaching out to a certain type of lead and you have an optimized landing page for that lead, you're just going to get more sales, basically. So
Right.
somebody who's in that position and setting up their landing pages, ready to do their outreach or whatever lead gen they're doing, what would you recommend them to do if they're not confident with the video? Maybe what would you recommend if they can't get a professional photo shoot? I mean, most people can. Most people should be able to do that. I mean, I got a photo shoot done for some of the images on my site, and I know I live in Thailand and everything's cheap. It was only like 25 quid or something like that. But even still, like, it pays for itself, even if you've got to pay more, right? So most people will be able to get a photo shoot, but for even those people who can't do that, what would you recommend they put there on their landing page for their hero image? Or
I would. If you can do it, a lot of times when I work with clients, I have a lot of limitations and what they can provide and whatnot. And that doesn't mean that if they are not able to give me a photo, then everything is just going down the hill. You don't 100% have to have a photo of yourself or a video. Of course, it will give you better results and it will increase. And of course, it also depends how you look on the photo. If your personality, as Brad is a charismatic guy, and when he's on the photo, he shows some charisma in himself. He doesn't have to do much, but when he smiles, when he stands there, you see him and you sort of trust him. But not everybody will be
sort of trust me. Sorry.
Not will be that comfortable on the camera. So if you're not, and if you feel nervous and if you feel closed up, then it will work against you. So what you can do is you can put a photo, a background photo. This is what I usually do. Is I take a stock photography, but not one of those super cheesy old stock that it just says I'm a stock photography.
Yeah.
There's today on things. If you want to look on good photos, it's and free. There is a website called unsplash.com.
Yeah, I know that one.
And they so many good photos that are completely free and they look nothing like stock photography.
Yeah.
So what I do is I find, let's say, if it was a freelance and if I was doing my website and I was not going to put myself as a hero, I would put an action that looks like two people are working on something together.
Okay.
So say a meeting or a person by sitting by the computer, and then there's basically showing that what is going to happen for them.
Right.
Showing the service, because you're going to be a freelancer, right? And you will work on their project. Mm-hmm. So some photo that shows that somebody's working on somebody else's project or something like that. So a person, it could be just a person sitting by the computer and opened up some project that is a design. So if you're a designer or a developer or a copywriter or something like that, showing this person just sitting by the computer, then you put that on the background, you put a cover overlay on it so it's not distracting, it just fades the background. And if you have, like, usually white is the best color to choose when you're doing the background color, because white will contrast the best and will pop out the most. And you put it on the headline, describing what you want to describe on your website. But push it away so it's faded in the background. It's not there to pop in and then distract everything, and people just see that, but they're ignoring call to action button and ignoring your headline. That would be good. You want it in the background because people still notice it. Yeah. And that's a mood. And when you arrive, and the people are very emotional creatures, and everything that happens with us, we make a decision in back of our brain, and then we and a rational explanation why we did it, and we did it because we had this and we had that. We had Usually we make decisions, especially about people. We see them, we already decided if we want to trust them, if you like them as our freelancer, etc. And if you set this good mood, if that's a good photo, there's somebody pleasant on the photo, that will set a really good mood for your freelancing site. It doesn't have to be you. That has already, it's the user already feels it, and he will more pleasantly look at the rest of the site.
These are great tips, man, and this actually touches on the material that's actually in the free course. What I talk about in the module right before people will be watching this video, because this video will be included in the course, is a lot of people think they need to build a website for SEO or stuff like that. But what I basically advise people is you need to build a website, especially if you want to do like what we're doing, you want to work online, you want to be a digital nomad, you need to have a site that basically kind of bridges the gap, because you can't go and meet with the client face to face, which is obviously way more effective because you've got the human connection right there. But if you can't do that, this is why you need to optimize your landing pages, and this is why you need to basically apply what you're saying right now, and understand these psychological aspects. Like you say, two people working together, it creates a sense of trust, it creates a sense of feeling that it just bridges that gap, and that's kind of why I'm doing this interview with you right now, and why this video will be included in the course, because it's really important information for people to understand this, especially if they want to be freelancing online and not necessarily in person, right?
Really well put, yeah. I 100% agree.
And so what else would you kind of recommend goes on that landing page? I mean, we've just spoken about the hero image, and what type of images to use in there as a freelancer trying to get work online remotely. You talked about the call to action button, but there are people who have other questions about landing pages, such as like social proof. Should you have your Facebook and Twitter links on there? Should you have links at the top or at the bottom? I remember reading an article from I think Neil Patel, when he's talking about the upside down landing page where all your links are at the bottom and people can't click away from the page, and you disable the link on the logo and all that stuff. I mean, what would you recommend? What else should go on that page? And from the perspective of like somebody who has a service-based business, like we're not selling products here, we want the client to book a call with us, for example.
I have this skeleton of a landing page that I advise people to do, and this is where I usually start. It's my starting point, and then I change things around based on that. And I have 5 elements that I recommend to put on the landing page, and if you can fit all 5, put them all. And if you don't have, of course, you can make some adjustments. But like number 1, first one, is a hero shot, because it's the very first thing people will say. Landing on the landing page, you see this. This is called an above the fold. Above the fold is everything that is visible inside the screen. Website is long. Everything is below the fold. The most important part of the website landing page is above the fold, because if that doesn't do the convincing, if that doesn't do the trick, nobody's scrolling below. And first thing they're going to see is going to be the hero shot. Not that it's the most important part of the web landing page, but it is something they're going to see, and it can either make it or break it. And we say, find some good hero shot. If it's you, perfect. If it's you talking as a video, even better. If it's not, then you can choose some stock photography, put them on the background, etc., etc., etc. After a hero shot, you want to put a headline. and a subhead. That's basically a copy that will tell what is this website, who is it from, and what you should do with this website or landing page or a web page, right? You want people to, when they land on your page, they need to understand what it is. And a lot of, one of these examples I give, and one of these things I would recommend people to do is go on Google, disable your ad block if you have it, and search for different services, like search for a dentist in a local shop and search all those things, and then click away and see their landing pages. And one thing you'll notice that people don't have good landing pages.
Right,
you land really
yeah.
unoptimized websites that are terrible, they look horrendous, and they don't tell you what to do.
Yeah, I actually read a book on copywriting that kind of touched on this, and they said kind of it's almost created like a vacuum where people who go to create a website copy other websites, and they think because another website's got it, that it's the right way to do it. But actually, there's so many websites that have it wrong, they actually copy the wrong thing, and it's created like this vacuum of crap sites, basically.
That is true. It's one of the things in design. What happens when people look for inspiration in Google Photos? Because Google suggests the photos that are old and have been visited by, I don't know, so many people. Mm-hmm. And that does create that bad design vacuum, because then, everybody's suggesting, Google suggesting something really old and dated, and then you're copying something old and dated. Mm-hmm. And see these examples and how not to do it, because when you go on that website, you will see that what you want to accomplish, you're not actually able to accomplish. If you're looking for a dentist, and you think as a user and think as a client, I'm looking for a freelancer, right? Okay, where to find freelancers? You get some advertisements, and you go on their sites, and you see what website makes an effect on you as a client, and what doesn't. Mm-hmm. And you will gather a lot of insights based on that. Always try to put the head of not a marketer or a web designer or a developer, put the head of your client. Mm-hmm. What do you think will make an effect on them? And always bridge the gap, and don't make them think. Don't make them think, oh, okay, where do I find his contact details now? Mm-hmm. That's your goal of the landing page. And if it's not, let's say, sign up for a subscription or a form like this, and if them contacting is your goal, make sure that your headline describes what you are, subhead, and then this call to action is very evident and right there, so it cannot miss it. Yeah. And a lot of in the industry, they use this BFB term, which is big freaking button. Right. Yeah. Which button really big, and something that person cannot miss it. Make it so it's really contrasting behind the background, and sometimes it will be bad design. It will be not as good designed as something that is more sleek, something more is looks nicer and feels nicer. Because what happens in the design world, people make something really good looking, but then it loses this effect that sometimes you need some button to shake and call your attention. And it's ugly, cheesy, but does the trick, because people are watching on it and they have to take some action. And if they miss that button, then they don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's a very good point as well. So people that are starting out and building sites, they shouldn't worry too much that their site isn't the best designed site. As long as they incorporate these key principles, then they should be okay. So, I mean, we've got the hero, we've got the headline, the button.
Okay, and last two is social proof and body of benefit. I call it body of benefits. It's basically what a body of benefits is what comes after the hero, after the fold, after the hero, and its main body of the site, and it describes the benefits that you are giving or value you're giving to the client. This body of benefits can include anything that, for example, if I was doing on my side, I would give that what do they gain by hiring me, right? Because I'm a freelancer, they will hire me. What benefits and what extra value they will gain versus them hiring somebody else. Okay. And I can tell them, I give them free hosting, I give them knowledge that nobody else will have on the industry, or I'll give them best communication possible, and all the benefits that you can think that you can give this to a client as a value. It's not the most important part of the site, but sometimes it's expected. Sometimes they would need to see, and you need to give them benefits, not just list few features, but what they will gain out of it as a value.
Yeah, what's in it for them ultimately? I mean, that's what it's all about, right?
What's in it for them?
Yeah, and again, that's something else I mentioned in the course, in the free course. It's really people don't care how good a copywriter you are. They don't care how clean your code is. Really, all they want, and this may be something that they should include in that body, is, like you say, put the head of the client on, and what is the client going to get out of it? To say I write clean semantic code, the client probably doesn't know what that even is, so they don't care. But to say I'll make you this much money, that's what they care about, right?
100%, exactly. Yeah. That's what you have to think about.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So we got the final one was what, social proof,
right? Social proof is probably one of the most important parts of selling any product or any service, and because humans are very socially influenced creatures. As you can see, everybody's wearing today same clothes. We're wearing same phones, same computers, and everything, because we're so much influenced by what other people are doing. And that's why reviews are such a big thing. That's why I don't watch a movie if I don't see IMDb rating and I see rating. So I don't trust my own instincts about, let's say I see a trailer, but I don't trust my own instincts.
If it's under 6 stars, I'm not going to see it.
Lucky, I have to see what other people said about it, and they rated good. And then I go, okay, I'm going to watch this movie because it has great rating.
Yeah.
And people need that. If you have reviews somewhere, oh my God, they're the best. When you're able to show, if you can put the stars, for a lot of times for my clients, I gather up their Google, Facebook reviews and things like that. And if there are stars, definitely put those stars there. Take those 5 stars just as an images. You just screenshot it, Facebook or Google, whatever, or just grab some icons and put that review of the person, not just the testimonial, because testimonial is good, but testimonial doesn't show that this person independently went on some other page and was so impressed with this service, and he decided he's going to review, because that means a lot. And 5 already means that it's a top notch, and 5 is something, a metric that people can really understand. If you're able to put such things right away, I usually put it depending on the service and depending how much the product is very influenced by that particular. A lot of things, for example, dentistry. Dentistry is 100% reliant on social proof. People don't want to go and take a risk and see if this dentist is going to work out with a tooth. That's something that is permanent, right? So dentistry always works on word of mouth, on the ratings and reviews and things like that. So if I'm building and I was on the website for the landing page for the dentistry, and of course the top thing I will put is the reviews. So it shows that it's good and it's a thumbs up. So okay, you can now read and continue reading and see the rest of the page. And
I guess the same would apply for freelancers, right? Because how do you separate yourself in a market of other people that they could potentially hire? It does come down to social proof. Like if you hire a web designer, and it's through like word of mouth or something, that adds a lot of weight. So
freelancing is one of the top industries that will be influenced by social proof. That's why this paper, Upwork, freelancer.com, all those things, that's why they are so valuable today, because people need to see those reviews and they get really influenced, and a lot of people don't trust anything else. Sometimes they won't trust a person until there is a review there. Nobody wants to take the first shot. So if you have those reviews, if you don't have those reviews, go on things like Fiverr or freelancer.com or Guru.com or Upwork and start doing some work so you can get reviews in. And once those reviews are in, put them everywhere. Put them on your website and take them. That's what I do. And I take my testimonials and reviews and I put them, because usually that will sell.
Yeah, and you recommend a screenshot, right? So rather than...
I take the screenshot. You can take the screenshot. You don't even have to go fancy about it. As long as it's, you can just go on Upwork, just screenshot the whole thing. If you want to make it nicer, if you want to just make it text, screenshot the stars itself, and then just copy paste the text and put the who it is. And don't put things like A.S. Nobody knows. That's not a real person, right?
Yeah. Okay.
If Brett Golding, that's a real person. But if you did Brett.G or Brett G. Dot, that already sounds a bit on.
Like you're making it up, sort of thing. Yeah.
Why we're not sharing the person's name?
And also, again, a photo of that person as well. Would you suggest putting that in there? And
definitely. If you can get the photo, 100%, because that it always has to show that testimonial is also real. One thing you have to always think about: people when they arrive on a landing page, they are looking for the first sign not to trust you,
right?
Especially because today, so many scams and spams, and you go and click here, download here, and then you get to download something you didn't want to. So we are very insecure when you go on the internet. We are always looking for who is going to trick me now. And when you go on somebody else's, so when you build your own landing page, always think about if something seems a bit too dodgy, if something that people will perceive that as not very honest or authentic. That's why stock photography that looks like people aren't real people, ditch them. You don't want to use something like that. You want to use faces that are, you see it, okay, this person looks real. The testimonials that look real, and don't make up a testimonial. Don't write it yourself, because you're not going to make it real. You're not going to make it authentic, no matter how much you try.
I mean, I had a conversation with a friend actually, and he was saying to me, like, in my videos and on my landing page, the high page of my website, he said, like, you're not very. He actually, I don't know what he meant by it when he said it, but he said, like, you're not very professional, And I said, well, if I put on a front and I try and act in a certain way that isn't me, that comes through, right? And it's the same what we talk about the testimonials. You need to be somewhat professional, but you don't have to. But you shouldn't put on a front. You should just be, like I said earlier on in this interview, like, it's all about transparency. If you met somebody face to face, you want them to see you for who you are, basically. So
honestly, it grinds my gears when somebody says it doesn't look professional or it's not professional. Because professional is this word that we are trying to fit into some category and behave in a way that we're not, and nobody wants that. People want themselves. And you pretend to be a professional, somebody who you're not. Like in this video right now, I'm wearing a t-shirt, and that's me. I don't wear ties and I don't wear shirts. And if I did it and if I put that on, I would feel uncomfortable. I would look professional. But I would feel in myself that I'm not being my true self. I'm not being authentic. And then my face would show that very slightly, but we're humans. We see small little hints on our faces. You would pick on that, and you will feel there is something off about this guy. You would feel like, I don't know what it is. You wouldn't be able to tell it, but you will say there's something off about this guy. He's pretending. And in reality, the only thing I'm pretending is that I like shirts. I don't. But everything I'm saying is true. But no, everything that I said, because I was pretending just about my shirt. Yeah,
that's a really, really good point. Really good point. It's such good information, guys. So if we go over those 5 points just one more time, what are those 5 key things that people should make sure they include on the landing pages?
First one, a hero shot, something that describes what the page is about, or maybe shows some feeling, a positive mood or feeling. Second one is headline and subhead. Headline and subhead is what is going to say, a copy that will say this is what this is, and you possibly want to put some benefit or a value also. But first of all, don't forget, you need to describe what this page is about. Third one is a call to action, and call to action usually can be either a form or a button. Sometimes buttons lead to a form, but you can either put form right away or put a button, and that will say, do this now, or subscribe here, or fill out this form and download my ebook. Or basically, you're telling them what to do. You're telling them what action they need to take right now, not tomorrow
Yeah. Yeah.
Fourth one is body of benefits, and that's everything that comes after the fold, and you'll describe all the benefits that you are going to give them as a freelancer, and what differentiates you from others, and what value you will get them. Not describing your biography or I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this. No, what value they will gain out of it, what benefits you are giving to them, because people care about themselves.
Okay.
And last is the social proof. And social proof can be reviews, testimonials, even things like logos, logos of it. If you set, for example, let's say you're working for with different software, just the idea that you can put, let's say, Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator or different software logos in the brain, people when they go on the site, the brain triggers, oh, I'm familiar with this. I know this brand. This brand mistrust. I trust this brand, and that that somehow makes you trust the landing page a bit more because you saw something that is familiar. So if you're, let's say, bringing reviews from Upwork or Fiverr or Freelancer.com or whatever, you could also incorporate their logos there. Okay. So you brought it from there and you put the logo. And somebody who recognizes an Upwork, now they trust the page a bit more.
So maybe a good idea for people who don't actually have reviews when they're first starting out could be to do that. Yeah.
That they are here, they're here. Yes, a lot of times that's what I do. I would try to use, if there are some rewards like badges that you have, even things like icons that say like 100% money guaranteed or percent something. Even these small things, even people know that that's not something that is real coming from something like an authority, but that will, on the human, on the emotional level, that will affect the person.
Trust. Yeah. Okay, so this is like you say, your skeleton for the landing pages. Is this skeleton included inside of your course?
It is actually, yes.
Okay, so is it like a printout or a checklist that people can check when they buy the course?
Yes, it's I kind of put the entire landing page course in different sections, and then one section goes through each of these points and each of these elements within the skeleton. Okay. So you will see if you take the course, you will see even more in detail, and I show a lot of examples of bad hero shot, good social proof, good headlines, bad headlines, and so on, so on. So you can get an understanding, an idea of what can work and what not, because examples are really important. Yeah. We can do it here, but in my landing page course, I have just so many examples.
Yeah, I was just going to say the course is a lot more in depth, and like I say, the production quality is amazing. So it's just when you're talking, it's just constant screenshots, constant examples. People can really see visually kind of what you're talking about here in this interview. Plus, they can get a load more because it's a couple of hours long, right? Yeah. And I also noticed there was a section in there as well. Do you do a review of the landing pages?
I do. It's one of the things I do in my course. Students who take my course, I have them make the website, I make the landing page, and then I have them send it to me so I can do a review and I can tell them what's good, what's not. And when it comes to teaching and learning, teachers' feedback really can put you in the right direction a bit more faster than you would do it on your own.
Yeah. And dude, I mean, even if somebody was to hire you, how much would they have to pay you to do that?
I would charge a bit.
A lot more than your course, right?
I would charge a lot if I had to do that as the service. But with the course, I do it. I sometimes, my girlfriend says, "Oh, Vako, you signed yourself for a big trouble," and I kind of did. Right. I did because I have to provide this thing for free. It takes a lot of time to review somebody, so you have to go through it and you have to write and you have to tell them. But seeing the value that I give to the students, I see just for that, worth it.
Yeah. Okay. So where can people get your course? How can they learn more about the course if they want to sign up?
My course is hosted on udemy.com, and I think Brett will put the links below or in the emails, and you'll be able to find it there, I guess, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll put a link in the description of this video, and if you're watching this video as a part of the 4-week freelancing series that I've created, it will be in the email that accompanies this video that you should be obviously watching it in right now. So. Okay, I think that kind of covers everything, man. That was like an amazing free lesson for people. But like I say, there is more if they want to sign up and if they want to learn more. Thank you so much for coming onto the channel. I hope it's not kind of it's a bit different from what I would normally do on the channel. But like I said, it's here to support the course, the freelancing course that I've created, and hopefully those guys looking to work online, those guys looking to become digital nomads, will take away from it and will be able to use it, even if it isn't in a freelancing context, but perhaps just to build landing pages for any type of business, right? So I think that's it, man. It completely wraps it up. Like I say, if people want to get in touch with you as well, so the course on Udemy, how can they get in touch with you if they want to actually hire you for your services?
They can visit my website, which is vakoshvili.com.
I'll link it.
My name isn't the most popular.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll put a link below if you want to contact Vako. And I guess that sums it up, guys. So, like I say, I hope you found value in it. And until next time, this is Brett from brettdev.com, and we're out. Peace.